Hi, and welcome back to the Save It for Parts channel. As you may have noticed from previous videos, I have a lot of kayaks stored in my garage. I think there's currently something like 6 of these kayaks in here, mostly these small river kayaks, and then the one larger sea kayak, which you may have seen me repair in a previous video. Now, we aren't just hoarding kayaks to hoard kayaks. Sometimes our friends want to go out kayaking, and not all of our friends have houses where they can store boats or cars where they can carry boats. So we tend to loan out a lot of these kayaks to friends. And sometimes we will have all of them out on the water with various people. And so it's a nice way to get out and be active and explore the local lakes and rivers with our friends. We've found a few of these at auctions, garage sales, secondhand, Craigslist, etc. Usually, I try not to pay more than about $100 for each of these, and it's been working out pretty well. Some of them are scuffed up or beat up a little bit, but they still float, and that's perfectly fine for the local lakes and rivers here. Now, one thing that's nice about the larger type of kayak is that it usually has a storage compartment. This mid-size green kayak has a storage compartment. Now, it happens to be missing the hatch because this was one of those discount $100 kayaks that I got. And when we go out boating, I usually just bungee a piece of plastic over this hole to keep the water out of it. These are about the 8-foot length, and these don't have any sort of storage compartment, and they don't really have a way to access the void space behind your seat. Sometimes the kayaks have a seat that folds down, so you can stuff a backpack or a coat or something in behind you, but these two actually have the seat molded into the hull, so there's really no way to get anything into that extra storage space. Now, as I've previously shown in another video, I picked up a couple of these watertight hatch covers for the nice price of $10 from the U of M reuse program, and that is where all the stuff that the U of M wastes tuition money on goes when they decide they don't actually need it. This is brand new. I'm sure it cost them a good $50, and then they sold it to me for $10. The seat is just molded in. There's a little bit of room here on the sides, so you could stuff a water bottle or something back in there, but you can't really store anything in the back. You can see I've done some other upgrades and tweaks to this kayak. We've installed a deck bungee system to hold a tow line. We've installed some carry handles. I put this rubber stuff under the edge. This edge is really sharp, so if you're trying to carry the boat by the edge of the cockpit, it kind of digs into your fingers. So I glued this rubber stuff in here. It's kind of falling out, but it does a pretty good job of protecting your fingers when you carry it. And then we also put these little tap lights on. I think my battery's dead, but in case we're out after dark, you're supposed to have a white light on the boat for safety. In case you're wondering how we did this bow bungee setup, we just drilled some holes and put in eye bolts, and those have nuts on the inside with washers. And then we just tied some bungee cord in a way that we could stretch it out and make this little cross. So you can bungee down a rope like we have here, or you could throw a small backpack on there, or a coat, or a spare paddle, or something else. It makes for a really nice, convenient way to store things on the bow deck. There's this existing round thing, which is probably space for a hatch on a slightly nicer model of this boat. But the hatch I have is quite a bit bigger than that. So I'm probably going to put it back here, which means I will have some odd void spaces around the edges once this hole is cut out and the hatch combing is bolted down. So I might have to fill those in with some kind of silicone or spray foam or something else just to make it a little smoother and flush to the deck. I think I paid about $50 for this kayak at an auction, so I don't care too much if I wreck it. It's one of our least nice ones. It's good for experimenting with for something like this. And if I like how this turns out, I might do the same upgrade to some of our slightly nicer kayaks, which are also missing cargo hatches, And in those cases, I might have to build more of a bulkhead than what I plan to do here. Alright, I'm either making great progress or ruining a perfectly good boat. Since this isn't an even surface, it's kind of hard to get a perfectly circular hole. But that's coming out pretty well, I think. As I said, I'll fill in any of these gaps with silicone and or spray foam so that it's pretty waterproof. Now we do have this piece of styrofoam in here, and I think that's probably kind of a last resort if your boat completely submerges. That little bit of styrofoam, I guess, gives flotation to the plastic. I'm going to go ahead and pull out that styrofoam because one of my next steps is going to involve adding some spray foam. It would help if I have this rear compartment for that compartment to be watertight. And that means that I need to seal up these little crevices alongside the seat. Now to do that, I'm planning to blast in this spray foam basically around the seat to fill in those gaps. And then after that, the rear compartment should be totally separate from the cockpit compartment and the rest of the boat. First off, I will have to jam something into that crevice so that the spray foam doesn't just run out. I'm going to stand the boat up, shoot the spray foam down, let it fill up this area on the inside around the seat, and then once it sets up, that should create a bulkhead. You can kind of see where I intend to put the spray foam in that hollow area around the seat concavity. Now you'll also notice there's this little molding piece that comes up directly below where I put my hatch. And that's actually okay. I want to have a reminder not to just stuff this compartment full of stuff. This is only an 8-foot kayak. It can't really hold all that much weight. So if I fill this full of backpacks and beer and cameras and stuff, if I put too much stuff in there, this is going to ride really low in the water. And we've all seen my video of the motor canoe where my big fat rear end sank the rear end of that canoe. And I'd prefer not to do that with these kayaks. I'd like to maintain some airspace back there. I'd like to maintain some flotation. So having this little projection here is actually a great reminder to say you can only put so big of a thing into this hole. Alright, I've got the area around the cockpit seat duct taped off, and my hope is that this keeps the spray foam from spreading into the cockpit. If it gets a little lumpy along here under the duct tape, I can trim that down later. I just want it to stay underneath the seat and not migrate into the rest of the boat when I flip this over and start filling it with spray foam. I got the window and door spray foam, which is supposed to remain soft and flexible after it sets up, because I don't really want a giant rigid piece of foam in there. That would just crack when I run into stuff or go over big waves or get in and out of the boat. I'm hoping that the flexible spray foam keeps that watertight seal and is able to move a little bit with the natural motion of the boat hull. I noticed this stuff says on it that it's not for structural use in marine applications. So don't tell the Coast Guard. Only made a little mess. And it looks like I did miss some spots. So I'm going to give this stuff the 15 minutes that it takes to puff up to full size. And if it hasn't filled up those areas that I missed, I'm going to give it the second can. Okay, it's been 15 minutes and I still have some gaps in my spray foam coverage. So I'm going to go ahead and give it the second can and hopefully fill in those gaps and make this spray foam bulkhead completely waterproof. I'm going to let it sit at this slightly different angle so hopefully the foam kind of oozes into the cracks that it missed before. And this stuff says it takes 8 hours to fully cure, so we're going to let the kayak sit here and come back and check on it tomorrow. We've left the kayak overnight, so let's take a look at that spray foam bulkhead and see how it's set up. The coverage looks pretty complete on the inside, so let's see what it looks like on this side underneath the duct tape. Whoa, that is not set up underneath the duct tape at all. I think maybe it needs a little more air exposure for that to solidify. Underneath where the tape was, we have kind of this gross slurry of wet spray foam sludge. I don't know if it's still expanding or if it just needs to set up and cure, but I've removed all the duct tape, and I'm hoping that there's going to be enough coverage in here that this will form a watertight bulkhead. I still see some pretty big gaps, so I might have missed some space here. But first, let's just leave this for another 8 hours and see if the exposed part is going to set up. Well, it's been another 8 hours, and my sticky goo that was along the sides has firmed up. However, we've had this little science lab volcano explosion out of the center. I think there's still a cell of active spray foam in here, and it's sort of blasting up the middle. This top part's still gooey, so it's obviously still expanding somewhere in here, and I guess I need to leave this overnight again, and then come back in, trim off all this excess, and hopefully it hasn't blasted out anywhere else, because this is pretty much where I want it along the sides here. And I'm hoping this has made a watertight seal all the way around. But maybe tomorrow we'll pour some water in the cockpit here and see if it comes out in our storage hole. And if not, then we know we've got a waterproof bulkhead under that seat. Okay, we've left this kayak for another 8 hours, and there is still spray foam oozing out from under that seat. So this might be why the can says not to use it as a structural material in boats, because it just keeps oozing and expanding and poofing out everywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and put this hatch in. So we'll try to fill in the worst of the gaps with more spray foam and then trim that down. And it's probably going to look horrible, but I don't really care. So let's do that. Now I've installed my hatch and put some spray foam around it to fill in those gaps. And I put some tape down to be a little more professional. So then when I trim this foam, it won't just be stuck to the hull and make a giant mess like it did on the inside of the cockpit. Or at least that's the idea. So let's allow this part of the foam to set up, and we will come back even later and see what else is happening here. And I also went ahead and added some spray foam to the bottom of my hatch cover because I don't think this is buoyant as is. So if I drop this over the side, I want it to float. Now, because I have no concept of personal safety, I'm pretty sure I have spray foam in my hair now. It's a good thing that I'm getting a little shaggy and I'm overdue for a haircut anyway. It has now been several days since I started this kayak bulkhead hatch project, and it's looking pretty good. As long as you don't look at this thing from the side where you can see all my messy spray foam. That hatch is actually in there and seems to be pretty good. I've trimmed most of the extra spray foam out of the cockpit area. It's still a little bulgy on the sides, but that's probably fine. It doesn't really get in the way. Now, theoretically, there should be a waterproof bulkhead of spray foam, and since it's the window type of spray foam, it should still be flexible enough that it doesn't all just crack and crumble out of there in use. I also have my new and more likely to float hatch cover. To really fully test this waterproof bulkhead, I'm going to take this thing outside, pour some water in the cockpit, and see if any of it gets back here into the storage compartment. Seems to be staying pretty bone dry back here in sprayfoam land. Well, there we go. For less than $20 in spray foam and hatch cover, I've made this really cheap kayak into a spray foam covered really cheap kayak. But I've also made it so I can carry things around in the back without worrying about them getting wet. And I've made use of this formerly useless space back here. So I think this is a pretty good modification for these cheap kayaks. It's not the prettiest with all the spray foam exposed here, but you don't look at this all the time, and I could probably do something a little better to cover that. I could probably cover this spray foam as well, but yeah, I think this is ready to get out on the water and do some boating. I'm not going to take this out on the water today, but when I get out to test it, and I will probably be testing a few other kayak modifications at the same time, I'll try to do a little follow-up video and maybe sort of a review of some of the different types of kayaks and the pros and cons of some of these cheap ones versus some of the little nicer ones, and just do sort of a general boating or floating around video. So until then, thank you for watching, and go ahead and like and subscribe as usual, and we'll see you next time.